The early morning air was cool in Lagos. Captain Adebayo walked towards the Boeing 737. The sky was still a soft gray. He carried his flight bag. Inside the cockpit it was quiet, just the low hum of resting instruments. He placed his cap on the dashboard. The scent of yesterday's coffee lingered faintly. He took out the thick checklist. His day began with these careful steps. It always began this way, methodical and calm.
Oga Adi, you don't land since.
First Officer Ifeanyi arrived soon after. He smiled, a bright flash.
Oga Adi, you don't land since.
His voice was light. Captain Adebayo nodded.
Body day inside cloth, my brother. We are here.
They moved with practiced ease around the small space. Ifeanyi stowed his bag. He began his own set of checks. Switches clicked. Lights blinked in response. Their movements were like a silent dance.
External checks are complete. Everything is in order outside the Great Plain.
Inside, Adebayo and Ifeanyi focused. They tested the flight controls. The yoke moved smoothly in their hands. Rudder pedals shifted. Green lights confirmed systems were ready. The cockpit slowly came alive. A gentle awakening of technology. They were preparing the bird to fly. One final review of the flight plan. Lagos to Abuja, a familiar route.
Everything looking good, Captain.
Ifeanyi pointed to the weather radar. Clear skies were predicted for most of the journey. Adebayo gave a slow, deliberate nod.
Good, we are set then.
A quiet confidence filled the small space. They were ready for the journey ahead. The sun was beginning to rise.
Ground control, Nigeria wings 737, ready for pushback and engine start.
Captain Adebayo's voice was steady. Permission was granted. A low rumble started deep within the aircraft. The giant engines began to spool up, first one, then the other. The sound grew to a powerful hum. The aircraft gave a slight shudder. Outside, the ground crew waved. They were clear. The journey was truly beginning now. The tug disconnected. The plane stood on its own power.
Murtala Mohammed ground, Nigeria wing 737, request taxi.
Ifeanyi handled the communication. Clear instructions came back.
Nigeria wings 737, taxi to runway 18 right. Use taxiway Alpha, then Bravo.
Ifeanyi read back the instructions perfectly. Precision was key in these moments. Every word mattered. They moved carefully. The Boeing 737 began its slow journey. It rolled along the yellow lines of the taxiway. The tarmac stretched before them. Other aircraft waited patiently nearby. The morning sun climbed higher. It cast long shadows from the wings. Inside, the pilots watched their instruments. They also watched the world outside. They were part of this airport's rhythm, a slow, careful dance before flight. They reached the holding point for runway 18 right. The engines hummed, eager. Ifeanyi completed the final pre-takeoff checklist.
Cabin secure. Cabin is secure, Captain.
They looked at each other, a silent acknowledgement. The tower's voice would soon clear them. Anticipation built. The air in the cockpit felt charged, ready for the sky.
Nigeria wings 737, wind 190 at 5 knots, runway 18 right, cleared for takeoff.
The tower's voice was crisp. Captain Adebayo's hands were firm on the throttle levers. He pushed them forward smoothly. The two engines roared to life. A powerful surge of energy pressed them back into their seats. The aircraft vibrated with contained power. It was a familiar, thrilling sensation. The runway stretched ahead. The plane gathered speed, faster and faster. Runway lights became a blur. The numbers on the airspeed indicator climbed.
80 knots. Check. V1.
The point of no return.
Rotate.
Adebayo gently pulled back on the control column. The nose of the 737 lifted towards the sky. A moment of grace and power. The earth fell away. They were airborne. The rumble of the wheels on tarmac was gone, replaced by the whoosh of air. Lagos unfolded beneath them, a sprawling tapestry of life. Tin roofs glinted in the sun. Winding roads looked like veins. The vast lagoon shimmered. It was a city of millions, now shrinking, becoming a map, a beautiful complex pattern.
Positive rate of climb. Gear up.
Ifeanyi moved the lever. A dull thud echoed as the landing gear retracted. The aircraft felt sleeker now. It climbed steadily, higher and higher, through the thin morning haze, towards the clear blue sky above. They were leaving the world behind, for a while. They reached their cruising altitude, 35,000 feet above the earth. The powerful engines settled into a contented, steady hum, a reassuring sound. Captain Adebayo engaged the autopilot. The aircraft held its course perfectly. A profound sense of calm settled in the cockpit. The intense focus of takeoff eased. Now, they watched. They monitored. They flew. Outside, the sun was a brilliant, blinding disk. It was high above the endless ocean of clouds. Below them, a soft white carpet stretched to the horizon. It looked solid enough to walk on, but it was just water vapor. The world of land and sea was hidden. Only the blue sky above and white clouds below. It was a peaceful, sterile beauty. A place of quiet. Captain Adebayo took a slow sip of water. His eyes scanned the main instrument panel. All readings were normal. Ifeanyi was reviewing navigation charts on his display. He made small notes on a pad. They exchanged few words. There was no need for many. A quiet understanding flowed between them. Years of flying together built this rhythm, this trust. The Boeing 737 was a silver dart. It pierced the thin air effortlessly, a small, self-contained world, carrying souls from one place to another, across the vastness of the sky. There was a unique peace here, far from the noise of the world, suspended between heaven and earth. It was a privilege to be in this realm. They knew it.
Nigeria Wing 737, this is Kano Control. How do you read?
Kano Control Nigeria, Wing 737 reads you 555, maintaining flight level 350.
Each word from Chidi was professional, precise, chosen carefully for clarity. They were handed off from one control sector to another. New frequencies, new voices, always polite, always professional. They reported their position, received weather updates, confirmed their route. The radio was a constant link to the ground, a lifeline of information. It ensured their safe passage through the busy skies. It was a vital part of their world.
Flight deck.
Captain, passengers are all comfortable. We are about to begin service.
Thank you, Funka. Let us know if you need anything.
Small courtesies. They maintained the bridge between cockpit and cabin, ensuring everyone was safe and well. Captain Adebayo and Chidi discussed fuel burn. They compared it to the flight plan. Everything was on track. Chidi zoomed in on the navigation display. He checked for any weather deviations ahead. Small adjustments were sometimes needed. A slight turn here, a minor change in altitude. They were always thinking ahead, always vigilant. The sky demanded nothing less.
To connect their country to the world, they flew with skill and with heart. Section 7. Shared skies, shared trust. Cockpit camaraderie.
The cockpit of a Boeing 737 is not a large space. Two pilots sit side by side for hours. Trust is the air they breathe. Captain Adebayo trusted Ifeanyi's eyes, his hands, his judgment. Ifeanyi trusted Adebayo's experience, his calm leadership. They were a team, a partnership forged in the sky. Their lives and the lives of their passengers depended on this bond.
Ifeanyi pointed to a dark patch of clouds far to their right on the weather radar. Looks like a storm cell building up over there, Captain. Adebayo leaned closer to look. He nodded slowly. Yes, I see it. We should ask for a small deviation to the left just to be safe. They discussed the options briefly. The decision was made together. A smooth, collaborative process.
They sometimes shared stories from past flights, a particularly challenging landing in Harmattan Haze, a funny misunderstanding with a foreign air traffic controller, a moment of unexpected beauty seen from 30,000 feet. These shared memories built their connection. They understood the unique world they inhabited, the pressures and the joys of their profession. It strengthened their unspoken bond.
This was more than just a job for them, it was a calling. A precise dance between human skill and advanced technology. Two minds, two sets of hands, working as one, guiding a metal bird through the vastness of the sky. There was a deep satisfaction in it, a quiet pride in their ability. They flew together, sharing the responsibility, sharing the sky. Section 8. The gentle descent, calculations and calm.
They were approaching their destination. Abuja was drawing closer. The peaceful cruise was ending. It was time to begin the descent. Air traffic control gave the instruction.
Nigeria Wing 737, descend now to flight level 240.
Ifeanyi acknowledged the call. Captain Adebayo gently eased the throttles back. The pitch of the engines changed, a subtle shift. The aircraft began its slow, steady journey downwards. Ifeanyi was busy with calculations. He determined the approach speeds. He checked the landing weight. He cross-referenced everything with the charts for Abuja's airport. Adebayo reviewed the information. They began the approach briefing, discussing the runway they would use, the expected weather at the airport, the procedures for a missed approach just in case. Every detail was covered, methodical, precise.
The checklist appeared again, their trusted guides. Cabin secure for landing? Adebayo asked the cabin crew via the intercom.
Cabin secure, Captain, came the reply.
Speed brakes armed, Ifeanyi called.
Checked.
Landing gear lever down. Adebayo moved the lever. 3 green lights illuminated. 3 greens. Landing gear down and locked. Ifeanyi confirmed.
Each step was verbalized, confirmed, building layers of safety. Below them, the Nigerian landscape started to take shape. The abstract patterns of high altitude resolved into distinct features: green fields, patches of brown earth, roads snaked across the land like dark ribbons, buildings grew larger. The city of Abuja emerged from the haze, their focus sharpened. The calm of the cruise was replaced by a quiet intensity. They were preparing to return to Earth. A deep pride in their work. The eagle was at rest.